how to round whole numbers to the 10,000s place, the 100,000s place, and the millions place. So before we get to the millions place, I'm going to start with a number that goes to the 100,000s place. I'm going to use this number more than once, okay? So our number that we're going to use is 651,979. And remember, every three numbers, there's a comma because that's a period, okay? So just as a review, there are certain numbers that make a number round down and certain numbers that make a number round up. The numbers that make a number round down are 0 through 4. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those make numbers round down. Those I like to call weak numbers. Now, the strong numbers are the numbers that can make other numbers round up. So that is 5 to 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start doing is rounding to the nearest 10,000. So my method of rounding is when I know that I need to round to the nearest 10,000, I like to underline the 10,000s place. That's how I know this is the number I'm trying to round. And then I like to circle the number to its right. The number to its right is the number that is going to tell us whether we round this up or we round it down. So when we look at it right here, we're rounding to the nearest 10,000 and the number to its right is a 1. A 1 is a weak number. That means it's not strong enough to make this 5 move at all. So it stays the same. And everything to the left also stays the same. I call that getting on the L train. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put it on the L train. Now, everything that doesn't get on the L train gets on the 0 train. And so here's the 0 train. I'm going to draw it. It's everything behind the place we just rounded to. That tells me that everything after this turns into a 0. So we're basically clearing it out. Okay? So now our number, 651,979, rounded to the nearest 10,000s place, becomes 650,000. Now, we're going to take that same number, 651,979, and we're going to round it to the nearest 100,000, okay? Nearest 100,000. And I will write a little bit lower on the board so we don't hit our strong numbers. We don't want to forget that. It's our same number. 651,979. Now, if I'm rounding to the nearest 100,000s place, I'm going to do what I did over here. Is I'm going to underline it. So that is the place I'm rounding to. That's the number that I'm rounding. Okay, and I'm going to look to its right, and I'm going to circle it. So I'm circling the number to its right because this is the number, like I mentioned, that tells me whether I round this number up or it stays the same and rounds down. So here we go. 5. 5 is a strong number. That means it is strong enough to make this 6 push up. It rounds it up. And here we go. It becomes a 7. And because there's nothing to the left of this, this is what gets on the L train, right there. And everything after it gets on the 0 train and becomes, like we said, a 0. We don't want to forget our comma. So I'm going to erase this little guy so we can kind of see. So our number, 651,979, rounds up to the nearest 100,000s place, which is 700,000. So our new number, when we round it to the 100,000s place, is 700,000. Now I'm going to give us a number to where we have to round to the nearest millions place. And the whole idea behind rounding, it doesn't change just because there's a different digit there. So I'm going to still use 651,979, except now I'm going to add a digit in the millions place, which is a 1. So same thing that I did before is I'm going to underline what I am rounding, which is to the nearest millions, and then I'm going to circle the digit that tells me if I round up or it stays the same. So again, we circled in the 100,000s place a 6, and a 6 is a strong number because you always kind of want to remember this little rhyme. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. So it is over 5. It's a 6. So that's going to push this 1 that's in the millions place into a 2 in the millions place. And then we've got, remember, our L train. Everything on the L train stays the same. And then everything on the 0 train, which is everything after, turns into a 0. Don't forget, 1, 2, 3 are commas. 1, 2, 3 are commas. So 1,651,979 rounds up to the nearest million, which would be 2 million. Now, when I look at that number, 1,651,979, another way that can really help you figure out if you are rounding up or down is thinking, is this number closer to 2 million or closer to 1 million? So think about that in your brain. Is it closer to 2 million or closer to 1 million? Just like, for example, if I asked you, is 4 closer to 1 or closer to 10? You would say closer to 1. However, if I said, is 8 closer to 1 or closer to 10, you would say 10. So you think about it that way. Anything that is 5 to 9 is going to be considered closer to 10, so you'll round up. Anything from 0 to 4 is closer to 1, so you would round down. So again, that rhyme, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. Now I want you to try this with your teacher, and good luck.